I was slow one since childhood, but my elder sister had great talent. At the Marquis Mansion's poetry party, she was afraid I would lose face, so she secretly made a poem for me. But unexpectedly, this poetry party was meant to choose a wife for the Marquis Mansion's second young master. The poem she wrote for me was selected by the second young master. Later, I married into the Marquis Mansion. After marriage, my slowness and lack of smartness were noticed by Peiyu. He then knew I was not the poem maker of that day. Peiyu resented me, blamed me, and disliked me. He said his wife should not be someone like me, having only a good look on the outside but no ink in the chest. Every time during intimacy, he always mocked in my ear that I lacked the elegant style of a legal wife, having only a seductive look, being useful only on the bed. I was afraid, so when returning to the day of the poetry party, I stopped elder sister who was going to write a poem for me, my voice shaking. "Thank you, elder sister, but no need." Elder sister frowned slightly, arguing back to me, saying that everyone was looking, and if I did not do it, I would definitely be mocked by others. But elder sister did not understand that the laughter of outsiders was not worth mentioning compared to 10 years of torment in the back house of the Marquis Gate. I lowered my head and murmured softly, "But you helped me make it this time. You cannot help me make it next time. My stupidity and ignorance will be clear at a glance. How can it be covered in front of people?" Elder sister froze instantly. For a long time I was pulled into her embrace. Nonsense, elder sister Sui Sui is absolutely not stupid. The year mother died I was 6 years old, and elder sister was 8 years old. At 7 years old, because of a high fever, my brain was affected, and my whole person became slow and sluggish. I could not understand books, and I often forgot the Chinese characters elder sister taught 1,000 times. After a few years, I became a stupid young lady known far and wide in the capital. Elder sister felt extremely guilty. She blamed my foolishness on her not discovering my high fever in the middle of the night and calling the doctor too late. Elder sister protected me and loved me, but with her eyes seeing the best, she would always think of ways to give to me. Those painful past events followed me like a shadow, tormenting my heart in countless dark nights, making me fear. The gentle breeze blew, the tree shadows swayed, and elder sister looked at the noble young ladies waiting to welcome poems in front of the water pavilion, lovingly stroking my long hair. The purpose of the Marquis Mansion's poetry party today is to pick a wife for the second young master in the mansion. I and second young master Pei have been letter friends for many years. Although he did not inherit the title, he is handsome and full of learning. Our Sui Sui is so good, of course only such a man matches you, plus he knows your condition. After meeting you once by chance, he is also fond of you. Before coming to the poetry party, he mentioned to elder sister that you only need to take a poem made with your name at the party to satisfy the elders, then he will pick you to be his wife and treat you like a treasure from then on. Sui Sui be good, just let elder sister make it for you this one time. After marrying into Yoning Marquis Mansion, our Sui Sui will have peace for this lifetime. Elder sister spoke in a warm and gentle voice, coaxing me to hold it well just like every time she found a precious treasure for me, every sentence for me, every word hiding love, making my tears almost fall. But elder sister, Peiyu is not a good man. After marriage, he disliked me everywhere and always told me that if I had not faked the poem at the party, he would definitely not marry me. In that lifetime, I did not have peace for a lifetime as you thought. In the previous life, I borrowed elder sister's poem to marry into the Yoning Marquis Mansion. Everyone was envious of this marriage, and people who knew my background all said Peiyu was young and handsome, blinded by looks, so he did not mind my foolishness and married me. I also thought so. Until at the family feast, I did not understand a certain ancient book mentioned by the Marquis Mansion's cousin lady, and she covered her lips and laughed secretly. I originally thought a clever person like cousin brother would like girls with bright learning and high talent. I did not expect cousin brother to favor those who are simple and romantic. I did not understand her bad intention and thought she was praising me, biting my lip and smiling shyly. Sister flatters me. Just after the voice fell, the whole room was quiet. I realized I had said the wrong words, and instantly looked at Peiyu in panic. His face was iron green, sitting beside me, tightly holding the white jade piece in his hand alone, having no thought of saving me from embarrassment at all. Tears rolled in my eyes. When I was so panicked that I was about to shed tears, a faint laugh came from the middle of the feast hall. Sister-in-law has a different understanding of this ancient book. I seem to have seen it in a certain master's rare copy. Lifting my eyes to look, the person who saved me from embarrassment was the elder brother Peiyu hated most, the Marquis Mansion's heir, Pei-in. After returning to the room, I threw myself into Peiyu's embrace, complaining sadly, why did husband not help me out of embarrassment at that time? If there were no elder brother, I am afraid I would have lost face tonight. Peiyu instantly sank his face. In the whole mansion, the one I hate most is Pei-in. You made me lose all face in front of him tonight, yet you still have the face to mention him to me. Also, you who could make that poem at the poetry party, why do you not not even understand such an easy ancient book. He pulled up my wrist, raising his voice. Or is it to say that the poem that day was not made by you? I then understood that he married me because of that poem. I froze instantly, asking foolishly, I am not that poem maker. Could it be that you are not fond of me anymore? Peiyu replied forcefully, correct. My heart was like cold ice suddenly turning freezing. Holding back tears, I said angry words. That poem was made by elder sister because she was afraid I would lose face. If you do not like me, why do we not separate? That day Peiyu stayed in the study. I held the quilt and cried until my eyes were red. After that, Peiyu treated me as heir. I was also taken care of like a treasure by elder sister while growing up. I also kept a cold face, treating him as mud and sand. Our coldness was noticed by the old matriarch, and Peiyu was called to the main room and scolded heavily. At night, he who had been staying in the study returned to my room. He ignored my struggles, tore open his clothing belt, his eyes completely red. If it were not for you faking at the poetry party, how could I have married you? Pei Yin's wife will definitely be a talented woman. I am already inferior to him in every way. When his lady enters the door, you will definitely be stepped into the mud by her, losing my face. I regret marrying you too much. My lady should not be a girl like you who has an absolutely beautiful face on the outside but not half drop of ink in the chest. Sui Sui, it was you who insisted on marrying me. In the future, no matter how I treat you, you just endure it. Since then, Peiyu stayed in my room every night, entangling with me as if tireless. I was not willing. He pinched my chin and kissed my mouth forcefully, his tone contemptuous. You have no elegant spirit of a legal wife. You are full of a seductive look, being useful only on the bed. Why do you hypocritically put on a fierce woman appearance? Heart-stabbing words hurting me sentence by sentence, and tears fell in big drops. Peiyu turned a deaf ear, his hand strength getting even greater. I was panicked, but every time I planned to escape regardless of everything. Peiyu, who held an office in the Ministry of Officials, always threatened me with elder sister's husband's official career. If you walk half a step out of the marquee gate without my permission, your elder sister and brother-in-law will starve to death in Lingnan for this lifetime. Therefore, one night when drowning, sinking into the deep green pond water, I thought in a blur, if I could live again, I would never marry him. Fortunately, I can live again. I bit my lip, still shaking my head. No, I do not want to steal elder sister's literary talent anymore. Elder sister burst into a laugh, poking my head. How is this called stealing? As long as Sui Sui likes it, the clouds in the sky, the river water, elder sister will always rack her brains to keep them for you. I could not help biting my lower lip, and said again, then what if I do not want to marry the second young master? Since father remarried, we sisters have been marginal people in the mansion, with no elders to take care of our lives, and no one to help plan our marriages. In the last life, I marry Peiyu as desired, which must have wasted a lot of elder sister's energy. I do not want to let elder sister's efforts go to waste, but the days in the marquee gate were too hard, and I do not want to endure them again in this life. I lowered my hands, not daring to meet elder sister's disappointed eyes, but elder sister said, so it turns out Sui Sui is not fond of him. Okay, then elder sister will not make it for you this time. I could not hold back, crying and burying myself in elder sister's embrace. But this wasted a lot of elder sister's energy. She held me tightly with a smile. It does not matter. Elder sister still has several letter friends of the same age as Sui Sui. We can choose slowly. Saying seriously, Sui Sui, you are the most precious treasure mother left to elder sister in the world. No matter what you do not need to feel sorry to elder sister. Alright, if you do not want to marry Peiyu, then do not marry. Why shed tears to make elder sister feel bad? Quick, stop crying. I will lead you back to the mansion now. After saying goodbye to the Marquis Mansion's ladies, I followed behind elder sister, accompanying her walking slowly in the deep green corridor. I trod the Marquis Mansion's corridor for 10 years, but there was no time my mood was as pleasant as now. Peiyu appeared from the corner. He wore a wide-sleeved long shirt, his black hair inserted with a jade pin, his face clear, truly a style of an elegant and unrestrained handsome gentleman. Elder sister turned her body to protect me behind her, leading me to greet him. Hello, second young master Pei. Thank you for your mansion's hospitality. I blame my body for suddenly feeling unwell and not suitable to stay long. I will take my sister back to the mansion early. Peiyu's sword brows furrowed, his gaze turning slightly, slowly stopping on me. This is your sister? Elder sister took up the conversation without changing her face. Some time ago, blamed me for being drunk, doing some crazy words on paper, making second young master laugh. Crazy words? Elder sister smiled lightly. Yes, second young master must not believe it, but I believed all of it. He frowned, his tone angry and puzzled. Ming Hui, apart from me, who else can you find to entrust this foolish sister of yours to? His tone was extremely certain, which angered elder sister. Second young master speak carefully. Our Sui Sui is innocent and pleasing. It has always been her picking other people's gifts. For someone like you, second young master, you cannot enter her eyes. Suppressing my fear of Peiyu from the previous life, I poked my head out from behind elder sister, immediately following to say, I, Ming Sui Sui, in this lifetime, even if I accompany the green lamp and ancient temple for a long time, will absolutely not trouble second young master one bit. Amidst Peiyu's dark face, elder sister pulled me to leave with big strides. After returning to the room, elder sister's anger was not gone. Losing using my years of being letter friends with him, I actually did not see that he is this kind of arrogant person. Fortunately you are not fond of him, otherwise if you married through the door, you would probably suffer from him for a lifetime. My nose felt sour, and tears almost fell. If elder sister knew I was tormented by Peiyu for 10 years in the last life, when the news of my death from drowning reached her ears, I don't know how sad she would be, not wanting to recall anymore. In this life I will definitely not marry Peiyu, and elder sister will definitely not be sad either. Elder sister did not notice my distraction. She said to herself, Sui Sui, tomorrow I will take you out to play, to meet another letter friend of mine, who is 1,000 times better than Peiyu. His name is Peiyin. He is Peiyu's elder brother, the heir of the Yongning Marquis mansion, born exceedingly intelligent, shocking the capital. People often say his official career will definitely be smooth later, even if his character is a bit proud, hating stupid people most. I originally thought you two were not suitable, but thinking that our Sui Sui is so pleasing, matching him is also more than enough. I was stunned instantly. Peiyin, the man who helped me out of embarrassment in the feast. In the last life he was indeed in a high position, but he also seemed to hate stupid people most. The Marquis mansion's old matriarch often urged him to blind date girls, and he would always say coldly, I do not love girls who are not quick-witted. How can there be girls who are not quick-witted? You treat other families' girls all like your brother's wife. The latter half sentence, the old matriarch noticed I was there, and swallowed it back forcefully. I was probably used to being mocked, alone and quietly lowering my head. Peiyin, however, said, other families' girls are indeed not as inner-talented as sister-in-law. I suddenly raised my head, and Peiyin was smiling at me. So no matter how proud Peiyin was in other people's eyes, he was always humble and polite in my heart. He was indeed 1,000 times better than Peiyu, just as elder sister said. Unfortunately, Peiyin had no intention to marry a wife. In the last life until I drowned, he did not marry at all. Therefore, elder sister's plan to marry me to him is probably going to fail. Sui Sui, what do you think of him? Do you want to meet him? Looking at elder sister who was asking about my thoughts excitedly, I did not ruin her mood. I lightly kicked elder sister's shoulder, smiling happily and saying, I listened to elder sister in everything. In the last life, even if the old ancestor advised in 100 ways, Peiyin did not agree to blind date with anyone. How could anyone think that elder sister could actually persuade Peiyin to come to the meeting today? Really wonderful. I knitted my brows and thought slowly, mindlessly stepping into a small hole, falling into Peiyin's embrace, still looking at him foolishly. Peiyin held me tightly, lifting his hand to steady me, his voice clear like jade pieces hitting each other. He asked with concern, has Miss Ming's second hurt from the fall? I realized later, my cheeks flushing with red clouds, quickly thanking him. No injury, thank you, Pei. He laughed lightly. The me at that time completely did not know that fate is just so wonderful, making one's heart full of joy and jumping wildly. No need to thank me, and thanks to this fall of yours, we finally have a bit of a blind date atmosphere. I raised my head suddenly, clashing with Peiyin's eyes hiding a smile. He did not hide at all the happiness about to overflow around his body, nor did he avoid my line of sight. Allowing me to look closely, he also looked at me freely, so direct that the red flush that had just faded on my face gradually appeared again. I looked in panic at elder sister who was strolling hand in hand with future brother-in-law ahead, wanting to ask for her help on how to solve this kind of scene before my eyes, but elder sister's figure was covered by an annoying big hand. Peiyin's well-knuckled big hand waved in front of me. He smiled and said, I am the man who is blind dating with you. Do not always stare at your elder sister. But he had no mind to marry in the last life. I could not hide my thoughts, and could not find elder sister for help. Hesitating for a semi-moment, I bit my lip and asked, do you really have a mind to marry? Just as the words were said, I felt this speech was really very abrupt. Thinking of this, I explained with a full face of seriousness, actually, I understand fortune-telling. I saw that you did not want to marry a wife in your last life, spending a life free and easy, so I asked. Peiyin froze suddenly, his lightly raised mouth corner immediately drawing back, in a moment unnoticed by anyone, a flash of grief, heartache, and joy of gaining again after losing passed over his face. An instant later, he smiled slowly again. Whether in the previous life or this life, if I do not want to marry a wife, the reason is only one, that is, I failed to marry the girl I am fond of. His expression serious. Sui Sui, I fell in love with you at first sight, wanting to take a lifetime of deeds to marry you as my wife and protect your health year after year. Are you willing to marry me? In the last life, when Peiyin and Peiyu were like water and fire, he was still willing to save me, this brother's wife, from embarrassment. In this life, if I become his lady, it feels very good too. At least he will not stand by watching with folded arms when I am mocked by people. Then together with elder sister and future brother-in-law's wedding date which was delayed again and again, I paused for a moment, immediately taking the pen to reply to Pei-in, marrying you I am happy, if possible, please come to my home to propose in 3 days. Having no hundreds of turns of love words, I directly informed Pei-in of my thought of being willing to marry him. Elder sister stood beside me, looking at the unfamiliar and round Chinese characters I made one by one. This person Pei-in was only met once, yet he exchanged for our Sui-Sui's favor. He really ran into luck. Looking at elder sister's charming and vivid face, I bit my lip and smiled. In this way, elder sister can finally be at ease. She will definitely not slip into my room in the middle of the night again, leaning beside my couch and crying quietly. Whether in the last life or this life, she always worried that after she married, I would be bullied by people in the Ming mansion. Ming Sui-Sui's letter was sent into the Yoning Marquis mansion. Pei Yin's servant had the letter stuffed in his chest, running hurriedly towards his room. These past few days, Pei Yin always checked if there was a letter from the Ming family's girl, waiting 1,000 times and 10,000 times. Today it finally came. The servant walked fast. Unexpectedly, a wild wind blew on the road, and the thin letter paper was rolled away by the wind, turning several circles in midair before falling to the ground. The servant hurriedly went to pick it up, not expecting to be a step slower than someone else. It was luckily picked up by the second young master of the house, Pei Yu. He tore open the letter amidst the servant's scream. The letter had only 2 lines, extremely short. The information revealed in the letter made him overjoyed, his whole face full of a triumphant expression. Pei Yu laughed as soon as he looked at it, saying to himself, now she is willing to marry me. Humph, I still don't want to marry yet, even asking to propose in 3 days. Ming Sui-Sui, 3 days later, even if you look forward until dark, I will not go. I want to see who else is willing to marry you apart from me. After finishing speaking, he dropped the letter, shaking his paper fan, and left joyfully. He left so urgently and quickly, so he did not hear those words from the servant's mouth. Second young master, you made a mistake, that is our heir's letter. Pei Yin had been anxious and uneasy these past few days. He was afraid he could not wait for Ming Sui-Sui's letter, even more afraid that what he waited for was her rejection letter, and also afraid that this matter would miss him again. Suddenly, a servant's loud shout rang out in the yard. Master, master, today there is a letter from Miss Ming second. Her letter finally came. Pei Yin could not wait. His body leaped, flipping out from the windowsill. He walked fast to the front of the servant, snatching the letter from his hand, then opening the letter paper with shaking hands. Marrying you I am happy, if possible, please come to my home to propose in 3 days. Merely 2 lines, Pei Yin recited them in his heart again and again. Finally, he pointed at the letter paper, as if unable to believe it, verifying with the servant beside him. She is willing to marry me, right? I did not see it wrong. The letter paper was handed in the front of his eyes. The servant saw 2 lines of round and unfamiliar Chinese characters, and he could not help reading them out. Marrying you I am happy, if possible, please come to my home to propose in 3 days. Raising his head suddenly to meet his master's craving gaze, the servant nodded fiercely. Correct, Miss Ming second is happy to marry you. Just after the voice fell, the servant saw his master, who used to be aloof and calm, showing a sluggish and wild smile. Great, Sui-Sui is willing to marry me. Yes, our mansion is going to have an heir's lady. After finishing speaking, he suddenly recalled the accident on the way to marriage. The servant knitted his brows, telling the process of meeting Pei Yu originally. After hearing the servant vividly imitating those words of Pei Yu, I want to see who else is willing to marry you apart from me. Pei Yin sneered. In the last life, if it were not for Ming Hui being too anxious to find a destination for Sui-Sui, what did a fool like Pei Yu rely on to marry her? And marrying her but not loving her, tormenting her for several years for nothing, and finally letting her lose her small life. Once thinking of this, Pei Yin wished to eat his flesh and drink his blood. His whole body was terrifyingly cold, making the servant beside him breathe with fear. After a long while, the servant hesitated for a moment, asking with a shaking voice, then do we still need to explain clearly to second young master that this letter was not given to him? I see that second young master seems to have mistaken the matter. Master and second young master had always been on bad terms. Second young master envied that master's talent was better than his, and was born a bit early, grabbing his title of heir, but they are after all flesh and blood of the same father and mother. If second young master only understands afterwards that this letter was not given to him, he is afraid he will come to trouble master, making brother's feelings even more stiff. The servant was thinking this in his heart, but Pei Yin's tone was cold. Didn't you say it? He didn't hear it himself, who can he blame? Before successfully marrying Sui-Sui, Pei Yu had better understand nothing at all. Pei Yin stopped beside the old teacher servant, thinking expressionlessly. 3 days later, Pei Yin visited as agreed, entering the door to propose, asking for birth dates, matching the 8 characters, calculating the auspicious date, handing over the proposal list. In just 4 days, my marriage with Pei Yin was set in stone. In the main hall, father smiled flatteringly facing Pei Yin. My young daughter's temper is foolish and sluggish, even being a master's concubine is considered a high climb, luckily gaining master's pity, actually bringing her in with the legal wife's ritual. I only pray that after she marries she will be gentle and virtuous. Father always loved to do embarrassing things. Thanks. I and elder sister lowered our heads, for fear of showing a bit of disrespectful smile in front of people. The teacup was slammed heavily on the table corner, with a sharp click sound, stopping father's mockery of me. Pei-yin looked at him with cold eyes, his voice cold. The betrothal gifts are placed, the wedding date is set, she is my unmarried wife, the future court lady of noble title. For this kind of mocking speech, I hope father-in-law speaks with caution. Looking at father's iron-green face daring to be angry but not daring to speak, I lowered my hands, the corners of my mouth unable to stop raising lightly. Raising my eyes suddenly, Pei-yin was looking at me with deep affection. The moment our lines of sight touched, my heart trembled fiercely, my mind suddenly went blank. The feeling came very urgently, I was at a loss and blushed. The distance was not far, Pei-yin was smiling, elder sister also smiled, therefore I blushed and smiled too. The pair of flying swallows sent by Pei-yin's betrothal gift were very noisy, making my mind unsettled. Turning over and over at night, the moonlight shed on the ground like water, the room lonely and desolate, until after the room door creaked once, the door opened and closed again. Elder sister walked to the front of the bed very gently. I closed my eyes, pretending to be fast asleep. She bent down to help me cover the quilt well, for fear that I would catch a bit of cold. Elder sister cried again, tears overflowing, her voice hoarse. When mother was alive, she always told me that father was heartless and meaningless, not fitting to be a father, not fitting to be a husband, not fitting to be a son. She said she felt very sorry to us sisters for letting us get stuck with such a biological father, so before dying, she used all her energy to pick a good husband's family for me. But when it came to Sui Sui, she couldn't even lift her wrist. When she died, her eyes were not closed, it was I who lifted my hand to help her close them. I understand mother's worry. She understood that after she died, when Sui Sui grew up, father would definitely take Sui Sui's marriage to exchange for the power he wanted. I was also terrified, therefore these past months, I have been uneasy day and night, deeply afraid that after I marry out, I haven't found a good place for Sui Sui yet. Fortunately, the results are all good. Sui Sui is going to marry into the Yoning Marquis mansion, and elder sister is truly so happy today. I turned my body over, my back facing elder sister, for fear that she would notice the tears I shed. In the last life, on the night Pei-yu proposed, elder sister also spoke like this. After mother died, elder sister was extremely good to me. She worried whether I ate enough, worried whether I grew fast, worried whether I was bullied by others. I always understood that I was a burden to elder sister. Her wedding with the future brother-in-law was delayed again and again, all for me. For several months, elder sister's future mother-in-law smiled and said to me between lines, if you do not have a good place to go, I am afraid this girl Ming Hui will not enter my family door. Miss Ming second is truly lucky to have an elder sister who plans for you everywhere. Elder sister worried, I also worried, so I disliked Pei-yu but still married, not expecting to end up with a drowning death conclusion. Reborn once, I avoid Pei-yu and pick Pei-yin whose character is excellent. In this life, I see I will surely not be tormented again, so elder sister will not be sad. I closed my eyes, falling asleep in a blur amidst elder sister's sad and joyful talk. In the dream, mother smiled and said to me, Sui Sui, this is an extremely excellent marriage, you marry with an easy mind. Red cloth covered the long steps, firecrackers sounded together, elder sister smiled beside me and said, only Pei-yin's appearance barely matches our Sui Sui. The praise in elder sister's mouth suddenly made me a bit curious. I carefully lifted a part of the bridal veil, and saw Pei-yin's body straight like a tree. His always clear and cold face was swept of coldness by a red robe, actually having a bit of warmth at this moment of big wedding. His gaze captured me who was peeking. He slowly leaned towards me, spreading his palm, and said with a light smile, lady, I have come to pick you up. I put my hand into Pei-yin's palm, biting my lip shyly. Okay. Amidst the playing music, I sat on the bridal sedan, bowed to heaven and earth, and entered the bridal chamber. Lifting the red veil, sitting on the clean bed, I took the cross-cupped wine brought by Pei-yin. From then on, I drank it myself in small sips. Then Pei-yin fed me wine with his mouth. I trembled, leaning close to his chest. During the entanglement of breath, the wine fragrance spread out, scenting through the window frame. Pei-yin drove away the maid who wanted to help me draw eyebrows. Bending down to lift the pen, while drawing, he told me about the situation at home. My family has very few members. The relatives at home, except the old ancestor, father, and aunt, have no other people. Concubines and maids that are taken for granted in other mansions are strictly forbidden in our home, so you only need to greet these three relatives, the old ancestor, father, and aunt. You do not need to care about other outsiders at all. I understood all of this in my last life. But, I bit my lip, still asking, I heard that a cousin sister is staying at home, what gift should I prepare for her? Also Pei-yu, since parting at the poetry party, I haven't met him again. Even in yesterday's big joy, while I was happy to marry Pei-yin as desired in my heart, I also felt the worry of a steel knife hanging over my head. At the feast, I and elder sister went back on the matter of making a poem to marry him, and we had a verbal dispute with him. Now I am married to him, I have fallen in love with his elder brother of the same mother, deeply afraid that he will make me lose face in front of the elders. Pei-yin sneered, showing extreme contempt. Since she is a supported cousin sister, why kneel to him? Just pick a copy of the Analects for him, so he understands more about benevolence benevolence. After speaking, Pei took out a kingfisher gold hairpin from somewhere, gently inserting it into my hair. Oh, correct. I also have a biological younger brother, named Pei. He bent down to check the hairpin's position for a long while, smiling mockingly and saying, although born of one mother, he is stupid to the extreme. I and he have never been on good terms. You also do not need to deal with him. After today, you also do not need to go to the old matriarch and mother's place to kneel every day. Just pay respects during festivals. If you go too much, they will find it annoying. I was stunned instantly. Is it possible to do this way? In the last life, Pei always strictly controlled me. He said although the Marquis mansion had few people, etiquette must absolutely not be dropped. So even if the old matriarch and mother all said that paying respects on festivals was enough, I did not dare to act wildly, often going to their rooms to say hello. The cousin lady at home did not love me. I still treated her with a smiling face, sending gifts every festival. Now Pei actually says no need. Of course. He lowered his eyes with a smile, bending down to kiss my mouth. Since you are my wife, there is absolutely no reason for you to be bullied by others. My heart suddenly warmed, my nose slightly sour. I lifted my hands to hug Pei-yin's waist, my body tightly against him, and I said softly with true sincerity, Pei-yin, it is a blessing to be with you. After falling out with Ming Sui at the poetry party and leaving the venue, Pei was extremely annoyed. In the last life, he absolutely never had a verbal dispute with Ming Sui before marriage, holding back his temper until after marriage. Once reborn, he was not used to it yet, so he provoked Ming Sui and Ming Hui. Ming Sui was foolish and could barely be dealt with, but Ming Hui could not. The younger sister was her soft spot, and she hated outsiders mocking Ming Sui most, especially at that time in the corridor. The words she spoke were very hurtful, so Pei was irritable. He thought for several days, completely unable to think of a trick to calm Ming Hui's anger. Late spring wind was clear, flowers fell and flowers opened. Pei shook his paper fan to relieve the bitterness in his heart. Suddenly, a gentle breeze came, and a piece of letter paper slowly fell to his feet. His eyesight was excellent, seeing those familiar yet unfamiliar Chinese characters on the letter paper at a glance. Young Master Pei was startled with joy. This was sent to him by Ming Sui. She must be regretful about that passage of words spoken to him at the poetry party. Pei tore open the letter without even thinking. The letter paper had merely 2 sentences, yet it made Pei ecstatic. Marrying you I am happy, if possible, please come to my home to propose in 3 days. Pei smiled, but he recalled again Ming Sui's words saying she wouldn't marry him that day, so he was angry again. Now you say you are willing to marry me. I still don't want to marry yet, even asking to propose in 3 days. Ming Sui, 3 days later, even if you look forward until dark, I will not go. I want to see who else is willing to marry you apart from me. Ming Sui was not present, so these words were certainly not spoken to her. He was just reciting them to himself. He liked Ming Sui, even though he often also mocked her for being foolish. Liking is just liking. Reborn once, he would still pick her. So having spoken to his satisfaction, he dropped the letter, shaking his paper fan, and left joyfully. He left so urgently and quickly, going to find his servant mother to help him propose to Ming Sui. He didn't pick a wife at the feast, and mother was angry. He must first go to the market to buy the osmanthus cake mother favored most, then persuade her. The more Pei thought, the happier he became, but after he brought back the osmanthus cake, he actually had no free time to find his mother. The superior sent someone to the door, saying there was an urgent disaster outside the city, wanting him to leave the capital to suppress it. Pei looked hesitantly at the osmanthus cake in his palm. After a long time, he delivered it to the servant, leaping onto the horse and running away. Leaving the capital wouldn't take a few days. Coming back to propose to Ming Sui wouldn't be too late either. In short, in this life he will love Ming Sui well, unwilling to let her be bullied by outsiders, let alone difficulting her again and again, absolutely not causing her to drown to death during their quarrels. In this life, their days are still very long. Walking through the green pine corridor, not far from the turn was the main hall. The setting sun shed inside, with 4 or 5 figures in the main hall, and a familiar voice could be heard from far away. Amazing, our Marquis Mansion's eldest master who never gets close to women actually really got married. The wedding was even done so hurriedly, all clashing with my leaving the capital to do things. I am clearly his biological younger brother, yet completely didn't get half a drop of wedding wine to touch his blessing. Pei pulled me, moving slowly according to my footsteps. Walking to the door head, he answered loudly, this matter is truly elder brother's mistake. Wait until your sister-in-law has greeted the elders. I will surely send someone to your room to deliver a jar of newer Hong wine. Absolutely not letting you cut off elder brother and sister-in-law's blessing. After finishing speaking, Pei said to me softly again, watch the threshold under your feet. I nodded lightly, stepping to cross the threshold, appearing in the main hall. With a pop sound, the teacup on Pei's table was knocked over. Amidst the elder's shocked gazes, he stood up fiercely, staring tightly at me beside Pei, his hands pressing on the table corner. He asked in disbelief, may I ask what is sister-in-law's surname and given name, and from which mansion's lady? Each word and sentence was like being scraped by a wild wind, dry and hoarse. After I cowed out and greeted the elders one by one, I then curtsied to him from afar. My surname is Ming, single name Sui Sui, the child of a small official in the capital. Second young master probably does not know me. Suddenly, Peiyu went mad and kicked down the tea table, walking fast to rush towards me. No reason, how could you be matched to him? You should originally be matched to. Peiyin instantly protected me in front of his body, separating the shattered cup pieces, wood chips, and the mad-faced Peiyu. His hand pressed on Peiyu's shoulder, exerting strength suddenly, making him fall to kneel on the ground. Peiyu's words were cut off. Peiyin stared at him on the ground, his tone cold. Peiyu, shut up. Afterwards, with a calm expression, he led me to say goodbye to the elders whose faces were full of anger. He held me, stepping on the original corridor road, being very close to the main hall. Some movement could still be heard vaguely. Beast, what did you just say to your elder brother and sister-in-law? What bullshit sister-in-law? That was clearly my wife. What nonsense are you talking? Come, fetch the whip. I must whip this arrogant and rude beast to death today. Both ears were suddenly covered tightly by Peiyin. He stopped his steps, his eyes slightly angry. Are you worrying about him? Ah, me? I turned my head in shock. Peiyin bit his lip and nodded. I shook my head and said, absolutely not. I am wanting to beat him a few times for father. Just as the voice fell, I felt my disgust for Peiyu could not be hidden at all, and explained again. Some time ago I just attended your Marquis Mansion's poetry party. When leaving the venue, I and elder sister happened to meet him, and we had a dispute in words. Therefore you are gloating over his being beaten. Peiyin took up the conversation, his face turning from cloudy to clear. I nodded frequently. Peiyin smiled. It's good that you don't care about him. You are my wife. You only have to care about me. During the casual chat, we walked into the room. Just as we stepped into the room door closed with a creak, and the vision immediately dimmed a few points. I stopped in front of the dressing table, feeling strange. Why close the door? The maids haven't even helped me take off the makeup and change clothes yet. My slender waist was hugged from behind by the person bending down. Scattered kisses went from top to bottom. Inside the entanglement of breath, Peiyin's tone was ambiguous. This kind of small thing should of course be done by me helping you. In an instant, the jade pin fell to the ground, and the long skirt dropped off. That day I did not leave the room door. On the third day after marriage, Peiyin went to look for the butler to settle the return home etiquette list. I stayed obediently in the room, waiting for him to manage everything properly to return home with him. Since being reborn, I and elder sister were separated for such a long time for the first time, missing elder sister so much. But also together with the capital having no Peiyu causing trouble, elder sister doesn't have to go far to Lingnan with her husband to be an official. I became happy again. In this life, even if we sisters marry separately, we can still meet up from time to time. Thinking and thinking, the corners of my mouth couldn't help rising. Suddenly, a fierce man's voice floated from high up. Marrying him, you are just this happy? While speaking and raising his hand, Peiyu leaped down from the high wall. I covered my heart, retreating continuously. You, do not act wildly. This is your elder brother's place. Peiyu smiled bitterly. You just reject me like this. I lowered my head, only being afraid without words. Peiyu spoke again. Clearly all power hasn't started yet. We have hoped to start over from the beginning. On what basis did you just casually match to an outsider? I shook my head while dodging. I don't understand what you are talking about. It is still in time for you to leave now. Otherwise I will call people. I retreated one zhang, and Peiyu advanced one zhang. He smiled as if it didn't matter. You scream. I must get you. Who else in this world can stop me? Seeing the figure appearing not far away, I suddenly smiled. Fortunately it was not in vain. I squeezed out tears, calling tragically, old matriarch, father, mother, husband, quick save me. Second brother doesn't understand why he was hit by some evil spell, actually breaking into the room, and also told me many words of which I know not what is said. That day, the old matriarch, father, and mother's faces were all pitch black, and husband considerately held me into his chest. Facing him who was paralyzed on the ground first, the Peiyu who was beaten by him until unable to stand up, he said to father with a sank face, my lady suffers, that is I suffer. Peiyu's move is reckless in behavior, his character is poor, it is hard to ascend the hall of elegance, letting him develop will definitely implicate the Marquis Mansion. This appearance, do you elders still want to protect him? Today everyone is gathered, just make a choice, do the elders keep him or keep me? If you keep him, from now on we husband and wife have no relationship with the Marquis Mansion. Keep me, after I and Sui Sui return home, I do not want to meet him at home. After finishing speaking, he pulled me to walk towards the carriage. He said in my ear, Sui Sui don't panic, after we return home, this person will surely have disappeared. My eyes lit up, nodding fiercely, okay. Returning to the Ming Mansion, elder sister's eyes turned red when she saw me. She held my hand and looked at me again and again, deeply fearing that I lived too poorly with the Yoning Marquis Mansion these 3 days, completely unable to see anything. Elder sister then asked, is he good to you? I lowered my head, smiling shyly, extremely good. Elder sister froze for a moment, her expression first sorrowful, then happy again. This is good, elder sister will be at ease in the future. I smiled faintly. Suddenly, elder sister spoke again. In 1 month, I and he are going to complete the marriage. From now on we sisters will live separately in two families. Don't know why, elder sister suddenly feels afraid. We are not under the same roof anymore. Will our relationship still be as ironclad as now? Sway Sway, will you suddenly get tired of elder sister? If elder sister and your brother-in-law have to go to a very far place to take office, will we be unable to receive your letters? In the last life until I died, I would write to elder sister every month, but after I died, if no one sent the funeral news to Lingnan, and elder sister couldn't wait for my letters, would she just be as afraid as currently? Once thinking of this situation and scene, my tears could not be stopped. I plunged into elder sister's embrace, swearing to her, impossible, I will absolutely not suddenly get tired of elder sister, not in this whole lifetime. No matter the edge of the sky or the corner of the sea, my heart always remembers elder sister. After returning home, my emotions were low for a semi-moment. Pei-in held me and advised, if you miss your elder sister, we can go look for her at any time. Sway Sway, I indulge all activities you love to do. But Pei-in, my condition gradually turned better under his comfort. Heard that Pei-yu was driven to be a guest in Lingnan. That night, I actually added half a bowl of rice. In the quilt, I asked Pei-yin's chest with annoyance, why was he demoted? People who have no one in their eyes, provoking others is extremely common. I slowly gave an end sound, this is extremely good. In the beginning, I had also planned to secretly hand over those crimes of Pei-yu's corruption in the last life to the court officials who had grudges against him. Now it has reduced my work. I shrank in front of Pei-yin's chest and nudged, smiling joyfully. Tonight is destined to be a beautiful dream. I closed my eyes, Pei-yin bringing sleepiness. At the head of the hall, the bright moon hangs in the blue sky, and the far valley has a clear corridor. This life is Ming Sui Sui's happy lifetime. Ming Hui's side story. Mother favored me when she was alive. At that time Sui Sui was always unhappy, pouting her lips with grievance. Mother must love Sui Sui more. Mother smiled and said okay, and Sui Sui believed all of it. It was just that she was always easy to cheat, but mother lied. When she realized her lifespan was not much, the first one she thought of was still me. She dragged her sick body to pick a good marriage for me, then planned to look for Sui Sui, but nothing was started to be done. She left. Before she died, Sui Sui shed tears beside her. Mother, I will be obedient in the future. Don't leave me and elder sister. Could it be that mother owed her too deeply, so that her eyes were long in closing when she died? I lay in front of the bed, shedding tears, slowly helping mother close them. From then on, I and she supported each other to live in the family. Sui Sui was extremely good, she listened to whatever I said. After the high fever damaged her brain, she was even better. After waking up, she stood on her tiptoes, hugging me who was crying with self-blame, imitating mother, her small hand rubbing my head. Elder sister, don't cry, I am fine. How could she be fine? Her nature was merely easy to cheat, she was actually still a clever girl. Now she could remember nothing firmly, could do nothing well in practice, and didn't even understand how to put on clothes herself. The doctor said the high fever triggered sluggishness, and there was completely no way to restore her. I didn't listen, she didn't understand putting on clothes. I then taught her every day. She couldn't remember things firmly. I then spoke to her repeatedly time after time. She couldn't memorize books firmly. I then gripped her hand to trace countless times. Even though the rumor of Sui Sui being the only little fool spread all over the capital, but I understood that our Sui Sui was not just a matter of a few years. She understood reading, could recognize characters, would put on clothes alone, and even she would often lose her temper at me. Our Sui Sui was clearly extremely excellent. Since Sui Sui was so excellent, then I must find a home destination for her even more. These several years, I read books like crazy, accumulating the title of a talented woman outside. Heaven does not fail a painstaking person. My talent gained the approval of the noble, and I could lead Sui Sui to participate in wine gatherings with higher thresholds. I also made many letter friends, poor family valve gentlemen, and also official young masters. I picked and chose, selecting two men who matched Sui Sui. Coincidentally, they were the elder and younger born of one mother. The elder brother inherited the title, honored as the heir. Although he was full of poetry and books, his nature was cold and his mouth poisonous, always hanging fool on his mouth. The second son, the Marquis Mansion's second young master, had no title, but also didn't have to bear the heavy responsibility of the clan. His character was gentle and kind, his appearance handsome, and his literary talent was also extremely excellent. I hesitatingly put Sui Sui's current course situation into letters and told them. After the elder brother got the letter, he actually regarded it as if not seeing, still discussing ancient books and letters with me. After the second brother received the letter, he said, "Your sister is extremely simple and moves one to pity." My heart was joyful, thinking Sui Sui's destination might be the second brother. After this, I carried sister to stroll in the spring outskirts, meeting them on the way. After returning home, the second brother sent a letter for me again, so I didn't have to be completely happy. The elders in the mansion have extremely low low expectations for the daughter-in-law. If you can trust my character, why not betroth your sister to me? At the moment of my joy, I also received the elder brother's letter. This group of people you contact have no good intentions towards the Ming family's girl. If it is for her good, don't lead her to meet with that group of people again. If you and Miss Ming second encounter trouble, I can save you. I don't understand. Do they dislike Sui Sui? But I lacked time. The wedding date between me and my fiancé was pushed again and again. Even if the future mother-in-law was kind, she couldn't avoid harboring resentment. Father spoke even more. If you delay and don't marry again, then I will go to withdraw this marriage for you, and I will find another family for you. At that time, no matter the age or whether he is widowed, you must marry for me. I really had no time. The wedding date between me and my fiancé was less than 3 months away. I completely couldn't think of other plans, so I sent a letter to the second brother, the Marquis Mansion's second young master, Pei Yu. I asked him if he wanted to marry Sui Sui with the legal wife's ritual. He didn't have to love her, but needed to treat her well for a lifetime. In the middle of the night, I faced his reply letter at Sui Sui's bed head. He said he agreed. He wanted me to bring Sui Sui to participate in the Marquis Mansion's poetry gathering and make another excellent piece at the feast. His mother liked women with talent. Matching the poem's face, she would surely agree to his marrying Sui Sui. Pei Yu agreed on the spot. I guessed he was mystified by Sui Sui's beauty. If there were still time left, I would find the strongest one again, but he was the most matching man for Sui Sui that could be found at present. Therefore, I replied to the letter, okay. In the end, Sui Sui also married into the Marquis Mansion as I wished, but on the day of returning home, I noticed I delivered to the wrong man. Sui Sui seemed completely unhappy. I secretly asked Sui Sui, is he treating you extremely poorly? Sui Sui was quiet for a moment, shook her head, and said in a small voice, this world has tens of thousands of helplessness. Pity my foolish sister. In the end she placed her trust in the wrong man. I wish I could cut him into 1,000 pieces to relieve the great hatred in my heart. No, he is extremely good. Then, I didn't manage to check on Sui Sui's recent situation. My husband was rolled into a big case and was driven to Lingnan. Before leaving the capital, I went to the Marquis Mansion to look for Sui Sui. If he treats you extremely poorly, you must send a letter to inform me, and I will return to the capital to take you away. After that, the sky was long and the earth far away. Sui Sui every time said she was extremely good in her letters, 1 letter a month, never broken. Until a certain month, I suddenly couldn't receive letters. I looked forward for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and finally looked forward to a letter from Pei Yin reporting the funeral. He said Sui Sui drowned and died. I didn't believe it. If Sui Sui truly suffered an accident, why did Pei Yin not report the funeral to me, unless he was in the wrong? I gripped the letter, harboring a sharp blade in my chest, running hurriedly towards the capital. On the way, I thought, if Sui Sui truly died, then let Pei Yu die too. Husband and wife are one body. Sui Sui lives, he lives. Sui Sui dies, he perishes. When I arrived in the capital, it was another late spring of a year. Harboring a sharp blade in my chest, I forced my way into the Yoning Marquis gate which hadn't taken down the white silk yet.